happy Saturday, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. Gambino here, and we're getting ready to fly in the Mooney M20R Ovation 3 from Cape May to Carroll, I think in Maryland. In any event, hope you guys had a good week. Been a week since I've been on. I've had a pretty hectic week, but good hectic, which is always good. But wasn't able to do a lot of flying this week. A couple of trips here and there in the Diamond for VR Aviation, but today and tomorrow we'll be doing a few. And it's end of the month, so I want to go over the stuff. The contest isn't quite over. I guess it ends at 3 p.m. because we're on Zulu time, whatever. So still got some time, I think, to fly. Get your flights in, but it's probably pretty much decided. We'll go over that. Go over some of the information as far as the update goes for the group, and talk about a few other things, some changes in my life that I wanted to talk about that are really positive, really happy about and stuff. So, aside from getting a new job, which is fantastic. Fantastic, like 180 degrees from where I was working, and really enjoying it. Also, I'm making, over the last month, I've made a complete change in what I'm eating, and that's had a really good effect too. So, all motivated by many things, family, a doctor's visit, which was good, but it's a good doctor that gave me some motivation. And also watching a movie called Food Inc. on Netflix, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But you guys know I'm a big guy. I want to get smaller, because smaller I'll be able to go for my pilot's license, and that's one of the goals. So anyway, we'll talk more about that because I'm really happy about it. So. But let's get to the flying. That's what I want to do. And yeah, so let's go over where we're going to go today. And we're going from, let's see, let me get I'm going to turn this music off here, guys. All right, let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so we're going to Sky Vector. We're going from our home base, Wildwood or Cape May, KWWD, and we're going to be flying pretty much west to Carroll County in Maryland. It's about 100 miles each way, round trip, 210. So simple flight, no high elevations. We'll probably fly at about 3,000 to catch some views, and then bring it down and yeah, so that should be fun. So what we got today, we have, let's see, a Warwick passenger, we have virtual reality pilot and baseball scout going out to Carroll, and then coming back we have 2 blue crab lovers and a VR pilot. So not a huge money maker, but you know, we'll have a full plane, so we'll make a decent amount of money for the group. And we got 50 gallons in the tank, which will be plenty. We probably would need about 15 to 20 gallons for that trip, so we should be good there on gas. And pretty much it. You can always look in the upper left-hand corner to see ForeFlight, and that's got all the information there. So we'll have to set our radios, start the plane up, and get going here. So, all right, let me see here. All right, you see we're cold and dark. Now I do already have a flight plan already set up and in the G1000 ready to go for this. So let's do a little bit of a walk around here. Nice thing about that, we can do our little bit of a walk around. Oop. Make sure everything looks okay. Beautiful plane, this Mooney. by AFM, Advanced Flight Modeling. Really nice job. And they actually did this livery too. You can get this on their website, WR Aviation livery. You can always reach in here and see how much fuel you got. I love that little fuel tank gauge right there. But we'll go back, take a look at the list of the plane. Elevator's okay. Let's see our rudder. That's okay. Get in the back here. Aileron's okay. It's a nice way to do an external check. Everything looking just peachy keen. Do have our door open, so let's close that. Get inside the plane. All right, good to go. Let's get our mixture in. Well, actually, first let's turn our batteries on. Master and the we want the master battery on. We'll leave the alternator off, and we're initializing the system. And we'll get our mixture in. Prop in. Throttle to about 25%. We got our tanks. I have the tank set up so they automatically switch. Just makes it a little easier. Here's our clear prop. Boom. Nice start. Bring that throttle back. Get our alternator on. Got a battery 1 on. We've got pitot heat on. We don't need the icing. We got our autopilot is on. We got the boost pump off. Let's check our lights. Strobes on. Nav lights on. Beacon is on. Taxi lights on. We don't need the landing lights. All right, let's get the GPS going here. Our plane's warming up. And actually, you know what? Let me do this. Let me get my situation here so I can get Move VR. This is a nice feature. Move VR. Plugin that you can get on xplane.org. And allows you to bring in windows into the cockpit. And there's my chat window, so put that there for now. And let's find a good place for that. I guess we'll put it over here for now. Put it right there for now. All right, good. So, all right, let's see here. So let's get our flight plan in. So we're gonna go flight plan, menu, and we're gonna delete flight plan because we want that one out. And then we'll just do this. We'll get our cursor, and then we'll scroll down. Got a lot of flight plans in here. And we're going to DMW and back. There we go. So if we look at that flight plan, we're starting at Nabik, then KDMW, then Uozu, and then back to Cape May. So we're good there. All right, just make sure our track up. That's usually the default for me. I like to have my flight plan right there. Now, as far as the GPS goes, we're going to be on nav. And actually, no, we want autopilot off. It always gets me confused. Actually, you know, we can do this. We're going to go vertical speed. There we go. Vertical speed, and we want to fly at, what do we say, 2,000, right? Where's my altitude? Oh, sorry, 3,000. And we're going to go vertical speed up 500 feet per minute. And we should be good to go there. We just pop on the autopilot, and we'll be flying. Beautiful. So let me put that there. It's probably a better spot for it, just so I can see everything. All right, cool. Okay, so we're set to go here. Make sure I'm lined up. We're gonna be radios. So let's check our radios. Make sure we got. So COM1 is 122.7. SETCOM1 122.7. SETCOM1 122.7.
COM1 set to 122.7.
And then COM2 is 118.275. SETCOM2 118.275.
COM2 set to 118.275.
All right, let's see if we can get ATIS here.
Cape Mako weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 14, dew point -16. Altimeter 2992.
All right. Pretty simple stuff. We're not flying with weather, so enabled, so it makes it a little bit easier. We are taking off runway 28, climbing to 3,000, and leaving the pattern to the west. Pretty simple. All right. Let's get our people on board here. You guys can't see this, but I'm just basically logging into FSEconomy, starting the flight. So now I got my 3 people on board. Just verify that, which they are now showing en route. So we're good to go there. Got our Mooney. And we're all good. Cool. All right. Let's get the hell out of here. Cape May traffic, Mooney 328. What are we? Cape May traffic, Mooney 328, Mike Romeo. We are taxiing to runway 28 for departure to the west Cape May. All right. So I had a problem. I have a problem with my Rift. The right earphone has gone out, and reported it to Oculus. I tried a different bunch of tests, and it's definitely something in the headset. It's not the headphone itself. There's that Mooney. So they asked me for my address and stuff, so I have a feeling I'm going to be getting a new Rift, which is good.
Flight 209er clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Hey, thanks for the follow there, Commander Root. Appreciate that. As I veer off the taxiway because I took my headset off to see who's following me. Anyway, let's get back in that plane. Yeah, so if you haven't downloaded this airport, you can get it on X-Plane.org. M9 Aviation did this. He did a wonderful job. He got the aircraft museum over there, the aviation museum, which is really cool. And let's go take a little stroll over there. We can taxi over there so I can show that to you. See all these airplanes are amazing. Did a nice job. I don't know where he got all these models from, but maybe they're in I don't know, the X-Plane libraries, but pretty cool. Jumping Jakes and all kinds of German aircraft and English aircraft and American aircraft. Pretty cool. Come on over and check out the aviation museum. I think there actually is one at Cape May. I know that M9 likes to do things pretty close to reality. I'm going to go through these planes here to get back on the taxiway. But all right, so that's the aviation museum. Really nice detail that M9 put together for this airport, which is the Eastern Hub for VR Aviation's Eastern network. So check that out. It's a nice view right there. Now this plane is peculiar. They've well, I should say not peculiar, but AFM has built into this autopilot a system where you can't turn it on until you're at a certain height. Usually it's like 500 feet. Doesn't let you turn it on, which is, I think that's probably, I guess that's reality.
Approaching runway 28.
Okay. Cape May traffic, Mooney 328 to Mike Romeo. We are departing runway 28 to the west to 3,000 feet. And we'll be departing the pattern to the west, Cape May. All right. No one coming in. No one taking off.
Entered runway 28. 3,700 feet remaining.
Got plenty of runway to get this bird off the ground. It's been a while since I flew the Mooney on stream. One of my favorite planes. Now, word is that Coop and the guys at AFM are redoing the cockpit, internal cockpit of this plane. So I think that's due pretty soon. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. I'm sure it's going to be spectacular. All right, so we're good to go here. We got the brakes applied. Let's rev this engine up. Flaps to the first position. And release those brakes. Oops, crap. There's the problem. I always forget to check the trim. I always forget to check that trim. All right, we're good there. Get it off the ground here. I always forget to check that trim before I take off, but that's okay. We're okay here. All right, let's get that gear up. And flaps up. And we are going. This Mooney puts out a nice amount of power. I guess the cruising speed's around 150, so we'll get there pretty quick. I'll turn that autopilot on at about 500 feet. There we go. Let's get that autopilot on. And nav. Oh, come on. Always does this to me. Here we go. Let's do nav. There we go. Cool. It's a little bit different. It's odd that the function of the autopilot is different in this plane with the same GPS that you have, or the same PFD, MFD that you have in the other planes. I guess AFM has kind of implemented a different way of operating it. So, you know, when you're in the Diamond, you know, it's pretty straightforward. But here, that doesn't. The sequence of control to get the autopilot going isn't the same, which is kind of weird. All right, I think probably 600 is a little too steep, so I'll just bring that down a little bit. And we don't want to overpower this engine. Climbing at 102, that's fine. And I guess we could, let's just go to 2,500. It should be fine. Here's that Mooney. Let's see where we came from. It's southern tip of New Jersey. Climbing up pretty quick here. 500 feet per minute. Do me a favor, someone please type something in the chat so I know that it's working. Cape May traffic, Mooney 328 Mike Romeo. We are departing the pattern to the west. Last call, Cape May. Up and away, guys. I will start to pick up speed now that we're climbing up to 2,500 feet. Just enjoying the flight. Buggy Eater, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you joining. So we should crank this up to around 150 knots as we level off here. Yesterday, I was just thinking about this. Yesterday, I was after work. I started up the Ti SC2, and I was doing a flight, like a 40-minute flight. And it was cool because my son called, and while I was flying, the whole time I talked to him, you know. And I just thought about it, like, I wonder, like, if you fly low enough, you could get on the phone and talk to people in a plane. I'm not sure if it's probably not appropriate procedure to be talking on a cell phone while you're in a plane, but I don't know, it was just kind of interesting, you know, spending the whole flight talking to him. Liking your morning coffee and my stream. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right, so we're at 2,500. We're slowly gaining speed here. We're going to have about probably about a 30-minute flight. Somewhere around there. 88 miles to go. And you can see right there, there's our flight there. Nabik, KDMW, Uozu, I guess that's how you would say it. And then back to Cape May. Oh, guess what? I forgot to turn on that transponder. Where is it? Transponder, altitude. What are my alerts? Ooh, gotta update nav data. I'll have to do that soon. All right, we're good to go here. We got our, everything's flowing well. We got, I'm gonna probably just cut back on the throttle a little bit. And cut back on the mixture a little bit. I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to be too slow here, but I don't want to blow that engine. Everything's in the green, so we're good to go. Robin Flo, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Oh, sorry, what is it? Robin Lyre. Robin Lyre? Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. All right, so what's going on? Well, let's see. Well, let's do the update for VR Aviation first, because I think people want to see that. So we got some time here. Let's go to Chrome. All right, go to banking, and it was not a very as active month. We have had months as high as $5 million in assignment income. We're at 2.3, so we'll probably end up maybe 2.4. Not as active, but I expect that because we're in summertime. People are doing other stuff than sitting in their den or their basement or wherever flying an X-plane, or FSX or whatever you fly. So not a big robust month, but still enough to pay the bills. We've got 714,000 that we'll be paying prize money out of. So we'll talk about that in a second. Aircraft rental income, 44K, pretty good. So not bad. Let's just take a look at each individual region. So the East, we had 133 gross profit in FBO operations. Pretty damn good. 434 flights, which is a lot, considering the summertime. And then if we go to the West, we had 74. So it's about $200,000 in total FBO operation gross income, which is good. And then another 237 flights, so we're about 675, something like that. Pretty good. We didn't make any major acquisitions in June. We did pay off the loan that we had to Sapper for some 4 FBOs that we bought in the West. So we're completely debt-free right now. If you take a look at our cash, we've got about 600,000, maybe close to 700,000 in total cash. That would be this one. So there's, well, let's see, there's 5. There's, about 600,000. What we're trying to do is we try to keep it so that the FBO regions fund themselves with whatever money they make as far as supplies and gas and stuff like that. We really have not had a dip into VR Aviation to support those in a couple of months, which is good. So that means the FBOs are at least breaking even, and in fact probably making a little bit of money, which is good. So in any event, all good there, and keeping it going. So as far as aircraft goes, we haven't added any aircraft. We still have the same aircraft. We do have a couple that need to get back to their home ports, and I put out a call for a ferry flight for this plane. I think it's like 400 miles. It's got to go back to BTM, so $3,000 ferry fee for any member that flies this back. So you go on my Discord and you can see that. This guy here, one of our B1900Ds, has to get back from, where the hell is it, Maine. All right, someone flew it up to Maine. Let's see who did that. Whoever this guy is. He flew the crap out of this plane. No, I don't think he's a member, but he flew a lot, which is good because it made us rental income, but he ended up leaving it up here, so we'll have to get someone to bring it back. All of the rest of them are pretty good. Nothing too far out of territory. So, but again, we haven't really changed our, haven't really added to our fleet lately. We do have 2 diamonds, one in the east, one in the west. If you want to fly those, it's a newer plane. It's a great plane for FSE. 6 passengers, make money with it, flies quick. It sips the gas at higher altitudes, so you're not spending a lot of money on fuel. So it's pretty cool. Make sure you check those out. We got one in the east at Cape May, and we have one in the west at BTM. Look at BTM here. That's our western hub. We're gonna have to be buying some supplies soon for the west side. Mike takes care of those supplies for the west, and I take care of the supplies for the east. So if we take a look at our FBOs, let's see, FBOs. We go west first. As I said, no major change to that. Okay, it's pretty much the same network, except we did pay off all that debt, and the same with the East. It's all the same. Oh, we did sell two. We sold two one-lotters. We sold W00 and we sold N57. We got about 170K in total for those two, which is good considering probably cost us less to build them and stuff. So yeah, our strategy here is to get rid of the lot twos, the single lotters that we weren't really into. The other ones that we kept here are pretty fun to fly into, like they're nice airports and stuff, so we kind of kept those. Because we really kind of maxed out our 3-lotter as far as connections, so the next phase in the East would be probably to get another 3-lotter and split this up a little bit, and the same in the West. That's probably the next phase, although we probably could add another 2-lotter there. We'll see. But anyway, that's where we are as far as FBOs go. Robin, how about FBOs at Israel? And no, sorry, we don't have any FBOs in Israel. The plan is to probably keep it in the U.S. at this point. What is a West Coast FBO? We don't have any on the West Coast, but as I mentioned before, we've got, well, if I go here, I can show you much easily. You can go to our website, VR Aviation website, which is vraviation.wixsite.com/vraviation. Let's see here, hold on. If you go to FBO networks, the hub is KBTM, and you can see these are all the spokes and how they're connected. And in the East, our hub is KWWD, and these are all the spokes. Although I think I have to remove. No, I guess I have to update the map because we did get rid of a few of them. If you go to this page, you can just click on any one of these, and boom, it takes you right to that hub, or that airport, if you will. All right. Also on our website, we got our liveries. So if you want to download any of the VR Aviation liveries, this is the one I'm flying today. Click on that, it takes you to, just basically downloads it for you automatically. So anyway, yeah, so that's that. And what else here? Oh, let's take a look at reports. Let me see here. Can you give a whirl about the hub and the purpose of it? Oh, so the way FSEconomy works is you've got FBOs, and each FBO has a number of lots, and there's 3-lot FBOs, which are the biggest. There's 2-lot FBOs, and then there's 1-lot FBOs. And the most efficient way to design your network is to do a hub and a spoke. So what you do is you have the hub being your 3-lot FBO, which is KWWD for the East, and then you connect all of the smaller 2-lot and 1-lot airports to that one. So that way, when you look at, we go to FSE and we go to KWWD, you can see here, these assignments are all to the lots, that the airports that we have connected, right? So for example, we've got, let's see, we've got, pick a good one here, KIDI, okay? And if I look at KIDI, we've got one flight back, so it's probably got to generate. But if I go, let me just go to a different one here, give you, okay, FDK, so we've got like a bunch of flights going, a bunch of people going there. So if I look at that one, I've got people coming back, right? So it basically creates assignments once you set up the connections from the spokes to the hub. So the ideal way is to have a large airport in the middle and spoke it out to, you know, all the smaller airports. So that's how it kind of works. And what I learned from Mike is that, one of our co-owners, is that you have to really limit your spokes. You know, you don't want to have too many connections. Like if like for example, DAA only points to KWWD and vice versa. You know, well, not only, but you can see we got a bunch there. So if you wanted to fly like a 208 or something, you could make a nice nice amount of money flying to DAA, because you could, let's say, or the PC-12, let's say, that would probably be a good flight there, because you could get you get 6 people going out, right? And maybe you could stop at FDK too, so you could fill up your plane, and then once you got to DAA, you could fill up your plane going back, right? So that'd be a good example for like the PC-12, because the PC-12 can fit 10 passengers. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create round trip air, trips that will be profitable, right? Yeah, PC-12 is a great plane. We have 2 of them. We have one here, which is one that I own and lease to the group for nothing. So you can fly that one here, and you can make a lot of money at KWWD flying that PC-12. Highly recommend that. You could do, multi-hop trips, round trips. That PC-12 is a real moneymaker in our eastern coast. And we have a PC-12 in Tampa, which we don't own anything down in Tampa, but Tampa is a great place to make some money. Now, I was thinking about maybe a PC-12 for the Western Hub. We'll have to see. But because it is such a good plane, and go to here, you can see, you can pick one up. There's 20 of them for sale. So you could pick one up for, well, it's pretty expensive, 800 grand, around there. Here's one in New Mexico. I like to kind of get them fairly close. So here's one for 850 in Michigan. Here's one in Billings. So this one would be perfect. It only has 110 hours on it. So if we wanted to, we could, pick that up and fly it to our Burt Mooney in Montana. If we look at Burt Mooney, Burt Mooney is our hub here. Let's see, how do we do with a PC-12? Well, we would probably be able to do like some multi-hot trips with a PC-12, right? So what I would probably do is find one in the area and fly it here and see if people want to use it. And then if it gets a lot of use, then maybe we'll buy one, put it here. It might be a good logical next plane for here. Either that or a 208 for Caravan 208 for the East, because 208s are good money. The best good money makers. The best money makers in FSC are 208, in my opinion. The 208, PC-12, the B1900D, and I also think the Diamond DA 62. I think those are the best money makers in FSC. If I was going to buy a plane, I think the first plane I would buy would be a PC-12. I mean, having, I own a bunch of them and a bunch of planes, and I bought, planes that I sold because they just weren't productive. I would tell you that, and I own a B1900D. I own a Diamond. I think that the PC-12 has the best return because it's 10 people. It flies super fast, like 220 knots, 230 knots. It can land pretty much anywhere. It's a really, really good plane. So I would highly recommend that. I mean, it's going to cost you $850K, or the other example is a Diamond DA62, because that plane's going to carry 6 people and get you there, at 160 knots, and get you there pretty quick. Relatively new to FSC, so rent my planes to get where I can. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. You gotta rent before you can buy. Lancaster, California. Yeah, and what plane do you normally fly, Bug Eater? Just curious. So yeah, I think the PC-12 is if I was going to buy a plane for FSC, that'd probably be the first one. Now, if you don't want to spend money on buying the actual plane, right? Because it's going to cost you $35 to buy that plane from Carenado. The X-Plane 11 C90, the King Air C90, that is another great moneymaker because it flies up and upwards of 220, 230 knots. It can put 12 people in that plane and fly pretty much anywhere. I will tell you too that in the last release of X-Plane 11, when the last time I flew it, Laminar upgraded the cockpit so things are much more 3D in it, and it's a good plane to make money in. In fact, when I first started in FSE, I flew the crap out of that plane, and that's how I, developed a lot of the money that I have from flying that plane. And then what I did was I made enough money to buy one, so I didn't have to pay the rent anymore. And then I made more money, and I decided to buy a B1900D because that was 19 passengers, so I could make more money with that. And then I just kept going from there. So, it's been, I guess, about a year now that I've been on FSE. And so it takes some time. Oh, you fly a 208. Okay, makes sense. And the Quest Kodiak. I love the Quest Kodiak. I actually like the Quest Kodiak better than the 208. But if you look at the aircraft that I bought, that I own, I've got the 1900D, a Challenger, 2 SR-20s, Vision SF-20, DA 62, and a PC-12. So that's probably $1 million, $2 million, 2.6, 2.5 million, 3 million, 3.6 million, 3.5 million, about $4.3 million in planes. And I've got $1.7 million in the bank, $1.8 million, yeah, $1.7 million in the bank. So that's what, $6 million in assets in FSE. Let me tell you, that was a lot of flying though. And keep in mind, most of the flying that I did was for VR Aviation, so half of those pilot fees went to VR Aviation. But it just takes a lot of flying and smart flying, profitable flights. The rule is that you should always try to live by in FSE is full plane, manage your fuel. Don't overbuy fuel. Make sure you manage your fuel. And there's some planes that just are not profitable in FSE, or they're very difficult to be profitable. Like the two planes you really need to be careful of are like DC-3. And you got to be careful of how you manage that one as far as, flying people. You're much better off flying cargo. If you can fly cargo and people, that's even better. And the C-130 is another one that's very difficult to make money with. Unless you have like a company on FSC that's helping people, ship cargo and stuff like Mike does. They're very, you got to be really careful about how you fly those planes. In fact, I think we had one member that was flying a C-130 and he lost like $70,000 for the group because he was flying it, without enough people in it. So you got to be really, really, really careful when you fly those big planes. You can return back from 9U0 with assignments. Okay. Yeah, DC-3. A lot of people love that plane. I haven't flown it. I like the more modern planes, but a lot of people love that plane. Yeah, especially in VR. I heard it's pretty good in VR. Yeah, Bug Eater. I like the flights that are less than 100 miles. GA flights less than 100 miles. Just enough time. Maybe 40 minutes, something like that. And it's not like you're in the seat for a very long time. Anyway, that's the group update. Things are going great. Appreciate all the. Oh wait, one more thing. Let me go back to. Let me go back to this, and let's go to the reports so we can see the current report. And as far as the contest goes, Megaphone is in the lead, $591,000. Okay. at almost a 41% profit margin, which is awesome. So it looks like he's probably going to take it because Erasmus and me are out of it. We don't participate in the contest. So the next in line is Working HD. So Megaphone's pretty much wrapped up the job here. Working HD is going to be number 2 with 128,000, and you got to have at least 25% margin, so he's fine there. And Flyboy is going to be number 3 with 98K at 34% margin. So there's our 1, 2, and 3. And top margin looks like it's going to be, it's got to have at least 10 flights. So top margin is going to be, no, B2 only has 9. If B2 had 1 more flight, he'd qualify. So maybe he'll get another flight in. We'll see. Because right now he's leading margin. So he's got to get 1 more flight in to qualify. So right now Megaphone would take the margin prize too, which is like another 25K. So looks like Megaphone might double dip this month. So anyway, that's going to be that's what it looks. It's going to shape up. Looks like it's going to be Megaphone, Working in HD, and Flyboy 1, 2, and 3 for the contest. Going to do a similar contest next month, and I'll email everyone in the group with the contest rules and stuff at the beginning of the month, July. So yeah, B2, get in there and fly 1 more flight before 3 p.m. so you can collect your, I think it's 25K. 1 flight, dude. 1 flight. Get in there, fly. In any event, that's great. 43% margins, awesome. You can do that. Mine's always on the low side because I have to do a lot of cargo flights for the group to bring stuff to FBO, so sometimes those aren't very profitable. So don't look at me as like a slacker. I'm gonna hit 100 flights, which is cool. So anyway, so that's the status of the contest. All right, so there we are. That's our, oops, sorry about that. That's our update. Someone use, yeah, you can, the GN 750 is in the Eclipse 550 jet from Airbus. It works in VR, except you've got to use the VR mouse for it, and it's supposed to be really, really good. I know Reality, what's the name of the company? Reality XP, I think. They have a GTN 750 that you can retrofit into other planes, but I haven't used that. But yeah, people swear by the G, and I don't know that system. I know the G1. I work with the G1000 more, but it's certainly something I want to learn how to use. Yeah, Reality XP. All right, let me get back in the cockpit here because we are getting mighty close to 29 miles, 11 minutes. See the train moving down there. So now I'm running X-Plane 11.25 Beta 1. I upgraded yesterday to it. And seems to be very, very nice and smooth. Although this plane's got a little bit of stuttering when you move your head. I don't think that's X-Plane related because I flew the Diamond and there was absolutely complete smoothness with it, so it might be something that AFM has to sort out. Yeah, I'm going to move this. I think a good place for this would be right there, because I don't really need to look at anything there, so it's probably the best place for it right there. I can't really see. There you go, like that. Cool. Sticking out the window a little bit, but that's all right. All right, so let's get our radios set up. So SETCOM 2 121.25.
COM2 set to 121.25.
All right, so our radio is the same, 122.7 for CTAF. So we're good there. I got ortho all up and down the East Coast, basically, you know, the one-third of the east of the country of the U.S. So that's why the ground looks so cool. All right, so we got 9 minutes to our first turn here. Let's see. Oh, I gotta get my flight plan up here so I can. Oh, that's not it. So we got 22, 27, 28 miles. So I'll report at 20 miles. All right, so new job. So I started a new job 3 weeks ago. I'm not going to say where I'm working, but I will tell you that it's amazing. It's an amazing company with amazing technology that I think is going to revolutionize the networking industry and networking as far as computer networking. I really love it. The people there are great, great energy. It is a startup. I'm early in, and it's got really, really good backing and DNA and stuff. So I'm really excited about it. It's almost like I was telling my wife, I feel like 10 years younger working for this new company because it's got that kind of energy to it. So it's awesome. Really, really having a great time with the new company. But the downside to that, as far as flying goes, VR flying, is I just don't have as much time as I did before to fly. So, I'm working, pretty much 10, 12 hours a day, which I want to be because, startups, you got to really roll your sleeves up. But that's obviously eats into the time that I have to fly and explain in VR. So unfortunately, I have kind of like my flights have been cut quite down. I was expecting July. I don't think I'm going to have 100 flights. I'll probably have about, 15 or 20 flights. But still keeping up with it, and I still enjoy it. In fact, I was saying in my last stream that it's kind of nice that it's throttled back a little bit because I was kind of like I was like oversaturated with the flying. So now it's like more enjoyable, and I enjoy like the longer, I enjoy it more. So in any event, but it's going to be a little bit less. That's okay. I'm going to try to stream once a week, usually on the weekends, maybe occasionally a weeknight, but usually on the weekends in the morning. I'll stream once or maybe twice a week. But yeah, so everything's going great there. And as far as I was mentioning in the beginning, I've implemented about a month ago. I implemented a life change. I don't think I've talked about it. But as you guys can see, you've never seen me on camera, but you can see my hands and arms and stuff. I'm a heavy guy. I'm a big guy. And about a month ago, I went to the doctor, had a physical, everything's fine, but had a real good talk with him. He's a great guy, young doctor, about 20 years younger than me, and he really opened my eyes to what type of food I was putting in my body. I wasn't eating like a lot of junk food and stuff like that, but I was eating a lot of processed foods like flour and cereal and store-bought chicken and that kind of thing. And he opened my eyes to this movie called Food Inc., and it's on Netflix if you want to watch it. Food Inc., and I highly recommend watching it. I'm not trying to be an evangelist, but you owe it to yourself to understand the food industry in our country, because in the United States, because they are doing things to food relying on the fact that we don't have enough time to pay attention to it. All right. I'm not going to go into everything. You could rewatch the movie if you want to find out, but suffice it to say that what you're putting in your body is not poison. I would say poison is probably too harsh of a word, but unhealthy. If you're eating processed food and you're eating store-bought processed chicken or meat or fish, farm-raised fish, stuff like that, you're putting unclean food into your body, right? And I'm not like a holy roller vegetarian and all that stuff, I respect those people, and I think it's great, their lifestyle. I love all kinds of foods, and especially bread. Being like an Italian, bread is like, the staple, right? So what I did a month ago, though, was I completely changed things, and I cut out sugar and I cut out flour from my diet. So no breads, no cookies, no crackers, no anything with flour. I don't eat anymore. I also cut out dairy, so I don't drink milk. I don't eat yogurt. I don't eat cheese. No dairy. And I cut out sugar. So any candies, anything with sugar, cakes, desserts, stuff like that, no, nothing. Even cereal, because it's got grain and usually added sugar, even though it says it's supposed to be healthy, it still has sugar in it, or high fructose corn syrup, which you'll learn more about in that movie. I don't eat it. I also don't eat beans. Okay? Anymore. Soybeans, no, you can't eat. Soybeans are completely genetically modified. Every soybean pretty much in the world is owned by Monsanto. They actually own the patent on the soybean, believe it or not. It's the only live living thing patent ever granted. And that soybean has been so genetically modified to resist pesticides. So basically, the idea is when you plant the soybean, you use Monsanto's, by the way, they make Roundup, Monsanto's pesticides. That plant is genetically modified and engineered so that it will not die when you put a pesticide on it from Monsanto. That's how they do it. And that's what GMOs are. They're modifying plants so that they're resistant to a specific type of pesticide. Okay? That's why you got to watch Food Inc. So we went, my family, my wife and I, and kids, we went completely organic. And organic basically means it's not genetically modified. It's grown the way it's supposed to be grown, right? Like chicken is grass-fed, pasture-raised. Beef is grass-fed, pasture-raised, because the industry chicken and beef are all fed corn. Well, beef and chicken, that's not what their diet's supposed to be. They're supposed to eat grass. So when you feed them corn, they get much fatter, they have more fat, and unhealthy, right? I mean, if you look at Tyson chicken, you watch that movie Food Inc., and you'll see pictures of video of chickens that are so heavy because they've been engineered to have huge amounts of breast meat, they can't even walk. Okay? So now you're going to pay more money for the organic food, but let me tell you, a month into doing it, and I feel so much better. A lot of the inflammation that I had, like on my skin and stuff, is clearing up because I'm no longer eating those processed foods. So again, I've made a change in my life to completely change what I'm eating, and it's really made me feel fantastic. I'm losing weight, obviously, because you cut out flour and sugar and dairy, you're going to lose weight because those are calories that don't pack a lot of nutrition. So anyway, completely changed my whole lifestyle as far as eating goes and exercising more and feeling fantastic. So it all translates into having a healthier lifestyle, which is going to help me achieve a bunch of goals I have. And one of the main goals that I have, and I'm going to bring it around here, okay, is to get my pilot's license. And to get my pilot's license, I got to get down to, pilot weight. I can't be the weight that I am and get into a Cessna, okay? It's not going to work. So that's the goal. It's going to take me some time, but that's the goal. Well, I better let everybody know I'm coming here. Where are we? 6 miles? Carroll traffic, Mooney, 328 Mike Romeo. We are 6 miles west of the airport. We'll be doing a straight-in approach for Carroll Airport. We'll come back with runway, Carroll. All right, let's figure out our runway here. Sorry, jap it away. We are landing on runway 34. Carroll traffic, Mooney, 328 Tango, Mike Romeo. We are 5 miles west of the airport, east of the airport. We're landing on runway 24, full stop, Carroll. All right, let's get this plane down. Who's developer of the Mooney? Advanced Flight Model, AFM. Make sure you check them out. It's a great plane. And when you buy it, you get like 3 planes. You get the Ovation 2, 3, and I forget the model of the other one. All right, putting that gear down. Starting to slow that plane down. Yeah, sorry to go off on a tangent there. I'm just very excited about, how I'm changing. And it's all going to translate into getting my pilot's license. So that's what I'm most happy about. Oh, 1 notch of flaps. Coming down to 100 knots. We got the airfield in sight. Carroll traffic. Mooney, 328 Mike Romeo on short final, runway 24.
500.
Full stop landing. Carroll. Right, there we go. Get our trim, nose up, and we're at 90 knots. Let's get that full flaps. You want to be 80 over the gate. I haven't landed this plane in a while. This thing has great flight modeling, Bug Eater. If you want to fly a plane that's true to life, most people will tell you that this plane is fantastic. I've never obviously flown it in real life, but I've seen posts on Facebook from real life pilots that say this plane is really, really well modeled. As is the Ti SC2. All right. We're going to land, taxi, drop off our people, and head on back to Cape May. All right, we got 80 knots over the fence. We're a little high. Actually, we're okay. All right, we want to get that down to 75. I don't want to go too slow here. All right, there we go. Yeah, they have to work in the tire squeaks to the sound. I'm sure they're gonna again, they're coming up with an update, so take the next ramp here. Very nice. I don't think it's on the org store. You got to go to their website, Advanced Flight Modeling. You got to buy it from their website because one thing that people don't know about the org store is that they take 30% of every sale, and AFM's a pretty small company, run by some young people that try to do a really, really nice job, and they're trying to limit the amount of expense, so they sell it on their website. You can buy it right there, and they have an automatic updater and all that, so your plane will always keep up to date. And you should check out their website, Advanced Flight Modeling, because they've got some cool stuff in the works. They're working on a citation, which looks really cool. I think it's going to be, is it a citation? I think they're working on a citation. So it'll be next year. I think they're working on a Lear too. They got a bunch of different projects going. All right, we're going to pull right here. Set parking brake?
Parking brakes set.
All right, good. Let's let our passengers off. and we'll go over what we made on the way back. Do that way. I appreciate you guys joining. All right, we got plenty of gas. We got 38 gallons, so we only burned like 12 gallons getting here. So let's get to start the flight. You guys can't see this, but I'm just verifying that we are en route, ready to go. All right. And all right, let's get our departure. Maybe this time I can figure out how to use the GPS properly.
Approaching runway 16.
So we're gonna go, nope. All right, we're gonna go vertical speed. We're gonna go up 500. And we should be able to hit the nav, yep. And we'll be good to go. All right, cool. Here we go. Cal traffic, well, where we, hold on, what's our runway here? Damn it. 16. Carol traffic, Mooney 328 Mike Romeo, departing runway 06 to the east to 2,500 feet. Carol.
Approaching runway 16.
Let's get the flaps to
Entered
1.
runway 16. 5,000 feet remaining.
Let's get her going. Got plenty of runway here. Again, we gotta set that I always forget to set the trim, because what happens is the autopilot puts the trim way, 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 way up, the nose up, and I always forget to set it when we're taking off. So shame on me. All right, gear up, flaps up. We're gonna make a right-hand turn here, and we're gonna want to get our nav on. We want to get our vertical speed on 500, then we're good to go. Yeah, we're kind of high up there up here, so we'll head up to 2,500 again. Version of Coronado is the version, but oh, you have the Coronado M20. Yeah, this they came out with it like Coronado came out with it right after ASW, is it ASW flight? AUS flight simmer. How you doing, man? Aus. Must be from Australia. Aussie flight simmer. Thanks for joining, man. Yeah, so Coronado came out with the M20 right after AFM did, and I haven't flown that plane yet, but everything I've read said that the AFM model is better. Flight modeling's better. You got G1000 and the Ovation. You got options. You can fly the Ovation 2 with steam gauges, or you can fly the G1000 and the Ovation 3. And they also have the Acclaim. It's called the Acclaim. There's 3 versions. You have the Acclaim that you can fly too, which I think is a turbo. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's right. It's Albeo, yeah. But in any event, everyone that I've read likes this plane more, which I agree with. Even though I haven't flown the other one, I'm happy with this one. I like the guys at AFM too. They're constantly trying to make this thing better. The one thing about Coronado, as you guys know, when you buy a Coronado or Albeo plane, they really don't update them too often. And we're still waiting for them to update the 208 with VR. We're still waiting for them to update the PC-12 with VR. Thankfully, you got SimVR Labs. The guy is redoing the VR configuration files for X-Planes so that you can fly these planes in VR. Check him out. SimVRLabs.com, I believe it is. He's got a bunch of planes that he's modified so you can fly them in VR. But Carenado, they never update their planes. Companies like AFM or V-Flight Air, a couple others, smaller developers, they're constantly trying to make their planes better, and that's, I think, what you want. That's worth the money, that's worth the 30. But I think this is a $30 plane, so it's not that expensive. Oh, cool. That's cool. Yeah, I really do like this plane, and I prefer the G1000. I don't know. I just like I like having the glass, All right, so we're climbing we got altitude. Now we're gonna start picking up a little bit of speed. Let's check outside here, see what we look like. All right, so what's the opinion on the tail on the MR20? I like it. M9 Aviation, who's one of our members, he's not fond of the fastback. I guess it's like a fastback tail. I like it. I think it looks kind of cool. It's unique, 328 Mike Romeo. Yeah, those guys, the guys at AFM, I think it was actually Cooper at AFM, did this livery. It's a nice livery. Nice job on it. I could never have done it that nicely. He's got a talent for it. Love the way he incorporated the logo there on the tail. And he's got the VR Aviation. I mean, I like the striped idea. I would love to have that like on every plane if I could figure out how the hell to do it, but I just can't. Let's just look at the bottom here. How's it look on the bottom? He's got the VRA, but it's on the bottom, which is cool. Nice. That's nice. All right, back in the plane. Yeah, did you buy the AF? Oh, you bought the Albeo. I highly recommend this one. This plane is nice, man. I'm not sure if you said you bought this one. No, you didn't. This is worth the money. It really is. These guys are doing it right. I can't wait to see. I have a feeling when they come out with their upgraded cockpit that they're going to really. This plane's going to take off because that's going to match it up with Albeo and Carenado. Those guys do a really nice job on the eye candy. They always do, And I have a feeling that we're going to get, that kind of work out of AFM on this plane. When they do that, I think that's going to help boost them. Because people love, me personally, I fly a plane from the inside, right? So I'm like a car guy. I like cockpits and cool cabins and, dashboards that look cool. And I love that. The design of integration, like I love the way when I buy a car, that's like one of the big selling points for me. When I'm looking at pictures of cars, I always go like to the dashboard instrument panel picture first because I want to get a feel for what it's going to be like to drive and command that car. Same thing with flying planes and X-plane in VR because you're getting that 3D sense. I love that. I want to look and see when I'm buying a plane from one of the developers. The first picture I look at is the cockpit. Yeah, you want it to look cool from the outside and all that, but it's the cockpit and how it looks and how the flow is set up. So anyway, I love this plane. I don't fly this plane enough. If I had to rank my 3 favorite GA planes. Aside from the Cessna 172, because that's, I like that plane. I prefer the glass cockpit in that one too, but and I prefer laminars to the who's the company that makes that? Airfoil Labs. I prefer laminars to the Airfoil Labs with laminar with the RAP. But in any event, my 3 favorite GA planes would be, and this is, I can't put them in order, would be this plane, the V-Flight Air SR20, and the Diamond DA62. I love those 3 planes. The DA62 I really like. I really like that plane. And the SR20 I really like as well. I do think that it would be nice if V-Flight Air moves to laminars, G1000 versus their own, because I recognize they have to like build their systems in and stuff like that. It would just be nice to have a common flow so that, you know, you're using the same equipment on 3 planes, but it's okay. I still love that plane. Those are my 3 favorite GA planes. As far as commercial planes go in VR, my 3 favorite planes would be, again, not in order, would be the PC-12, the Kodiak Quest Kodiak, and probably the B1900D. Those are my 3 favorite small commercial planes in oh, sorry, the Challenger. Forgot the Challenger. Let's make it 4. Challenger 300. That's another one. So I have a lot of favorite planes. So for me, the reason why I do not go outside of the org store is because I just wanted one place to buy my airplane. That makes sense. I do not want a guy was having multiple vendors getting my planes from. Yeah, I totally get you, but I mean, if you buy this plane on AFM site, they have an updater, so it's going to automatically get updated, so you don't have to really worry about that too much. In fact, most of the manufacturers or developers like V-Flight Air, AFM, the ones that you buy from directly, and V-Flight Air you can buy on the org store. They all have updaters, so you can kind of get away from that, you know. Yeah, the loyalty points are nice, and that helps you, you know, buy stuff. I totally get that. But I'm telling you that this plane is worth going off the org to get. It's a nice plane. And I actually buy Carenato's planes directly from Carenato because I like to have all my Carenato planes on my Carenato account. So when I log in there once in a while, I can look and see if there's any updates on them, because they're terrible at you have to go back there to update them anyway, I believe. So for Carenato planes, the ones that I own, I have, let's see, the 208, B1900D, the PC-12. I think that's it. Those are all bought from the org store. The other manufacturer I like too is Aerosphere. Aerosphere Simulations. They have some nice planes too, like smaller planes. Check them out too. Don't think they're on the org. I think you got to buy them separate. But they have some nice planes too. Very inexpensive, like $20, $22 kind of planes. They've got Pipers. Nice Pipers. See, my favorite plane from them is the which one is it? The Piper. It'll come to me. I can't remember. But Aerosphere has some nice planes too. Anyway, let's see. We got 70 miles. All right, so we got 25 minutes to go here. Checking out the Maryland scenery. The one thing that bothers me a little bit about Ortho 4XP scenery is that sometimes they stitch together different seasons. Like you'll get tiles from fall, which is obviously what we're looking at down there, and then when you go into the next tile, it'll be summer. You know, but that's because you're at the mercy of whatever the satellite imagery is. You know, but in any event, it still looks very cool. Especially from out, higher altitudes, it looks pretty awesome. Like right now, like 2,500, it can look pretty damn realistic. You even get like a VR, like a 3D effect, because the shadows and stuff in VR, it gives you like a little bit of a 3D effect when you're this high. Now, as the lower you go, the more 2D it gets, because it's obviously you're looking at a picture, a photograph. But still, it's pretty cool. They do a nice job. They do a nice job, and it translates well in VR. Oh yeah, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. I think I've got a 6 terabyte drive that I've got my ortho on. I think I've got 4 terabytes of ortho right now. Maybe close to 5 terabytes of ortho. 4.5, I think it is. I've got most of the, basically a third of the east of the country, almost a third of the west of the country, parts of London, all the Caribbean, parts of Alaska, a lot. I think it's like almost like 550 tiles or something like that. A lot of ortho. Right now we're changing scenery there. That's a lot, west of Mississippi. Now, what zoom level are you using? My zoom levels are 17 is the common, and then within 5 nautical mile radius of airports, I'm 18. I made it 18 because you can modify the configuration so that it makes it 18 close to the airports, because when you're landing, things look really, really realistic. I was gonna do 19, but I calculated at 19 would just eat up way too much disk space. So yeah, it's all about the hard drive space. I actually, I got a good deal on a Western Digital Black drive, the 6 terabyte drive. So, and I bought that specifically for the ortho. That's why I get the Hourglass every once in a while, because it's loading from hard drive rather than SSD, because everything else on my computer is SSD, All right, what we got here? 60 miles, 22 minutes. You use 16. Yeah, 16, 17, that's pretty much, I think 17 in VR is probably the sweet spot. I'm not sure you get much more benefit. Maybe 18 is the maximum. I'm not sure if you're going to get much benefit between 18 and 19. That's one of the reasons why I also didn't go above 18 for around the airports. But I mean, you could limit that to like 2 nautical mile radius, and it doesn't take up that much more space. You might have like, when you do ortho for a tile area, you might have like, maybe 5 or 6 zoom level 18 pictures. Well, that's okay, no problem. Don't worry about that, no big deal. All right, so we are crossing over into, I guess, the Chesapeake here. Probably the Chesapeake. We're bringing the blue crab foodies back to Cape May for some blue crab. Got the nice sparkle on the water. Where's that sun? There's that sun. mean, look how smooth that is. I mean, you get a little bit of stuttering here and there, but nothing that's crazy. Oh yeah, blue crabs are awesome, man. I'm more of a lobster guy. Lobster, scallops, shrimp. I like blue crab. I like blue crab. I'm not a soft shell crab guy. I don't like soft shell crab. It's not my favorite thing. All my kids and my wife love soft shell crab sandwiches. I don't eat that. My favorite seafood to eat, prepared, and I can't eat it anymore because I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. I shouldn't. I don't say I'm not allowed. I don't eat flour anymore. So I can't have fried oysters. My God, I love fried oysters and fried clams. Oh, that's one of my favorite things with tartar sauce. Oh man, that's awesome. Oh, it's so good. I don't know if you have a Costco near you, Bug Eater, but and maybe where you live, I'm not sure if they have this because I know Costco's are regional. But Costco has this blue crab dip that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's really, really good. I can't eat that anymore. I can't eat that anymore either because it's got mayonnaise in it. Oh well. You know, I tell you what though, you'd be surprised of the food you can eat even when you cut out dairy and flour. You know, you think at first you're like, oh, what am I gonna do without mayonnaise? What am I gonna do without bread? What am I gonna do without rolls? Crackers? You make do. You make do. But yeah, I love seafood, man. Especially shellfish, big shellfish. Swordfish, love swordfish. Lobster, of course. Mussels, clams, crab, scallops, shrimp. Shark, tuna. You name it. I love seafood. Well, I grew up on the Jersey Shore area, so seafood was pretty common. I tell you, when you sit in this headset for a long time, you really start to think you're flying in a friggin' plane, man. Especially with the ortho, because the scenery looks so realistic, the ground textures look so realistic, and the way, like those farm fields right there, Some are plowed, some are yellow, some are green. It's so realistic. Thank God for VR and flight simulation. All right, 45 miles, 16 minutes. Getting there. We don't have to worry about changing the radio because it's the same. Just good. I tell you what, I don't know if you guys have been following it, but I've been following that honeycomb yoke and throttle quadrant. What the hell happened to those guys? They were supposed to release it like end of March. We're like 3 months past that, and I haven't heard anything from them. They were like basically like in March, early March, they had posted something that they were in China, doing their first models or whatever, and maybe they ran into a problem. I don't know, but I haven't heard anything from those guys. Everyone was so excited. I don't think they were even at Flight Expo. I don't think they were at Flight Expo, which Maybe they were, but I haven't heard that they were. I don't know, that yoke looked very, very cool. For me, it would require getting the yoke and the quadrant because I've got my throttles on when the CH Products yoke. You got your throttles here, and your throttle quadrant here, not quadrant, but your throttle mixture and prop. So I'd have to wait for the full system to get it. But the yoke looked really cool. But what the hell happened to them? And they've been talking about this thing for 2 years. Are they really? Are they? The question in my mind is: are they really implementing technology that is requiring that much re-engineering to make it work well? They must be. They must be doing something special if it's taking this long. That's the way I kind of look at it. Yeah, look them up. Honeycomb Aviation, I think it is. They're on Facebook. They've got a website. They got great marketing, great pictures. But yeah, I guess we're over Delaware now. Alrighty, so 35 miles, 12 minutes to our first turn. We got a total of about 40 miles left. So probably about 15 minutes. Doing 159 knots. It says this plane will do 170, but I don't want to push it any further. I guess I could probably, if I hit the mixture, I'm burning a lot of gas here. If I hit the mixture, I slow the plane down. And 159 is fine. I guess with a tailwind I could get it up to 170 because I'm pushing out the RPMs here. I don't want to go above. I guess I could go to 20. I'm in the red there. I mean, I don't want to be in the red. I think 2700 is probably optimal. Oh, that's our airport right there. I believe that's RJD right there. You sure? It's another airport that M9 developed for us. RJD, Ridgely. Looks like they're different pieces. Well, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, $200 each. The question I have is why is it taking so long for them to engineer this product and get it out the door? I mean, the yoke looks really cool, but again, it's prototype. It looks, it's a big unit, looks well balanced. The handles look good. The grips and stuff look good on it. I think it's limited. It's got a lot less buttons than this one, so I'd have to kind of work around that. I really like this yoke. CH product yoke for me has been great. I know it's spring loaded and everything, But I'm not sure how different that one's going to be. The honeycomb in its feel. It's not force feedback, because force feedback yolks are really expensive. So, this thing's like $120, the one I have here. I guess I could probably sell it for about 50, 60 bucks. What am I going to get out of the new one? I don't know. I have to think about that. All right, we're about to cross the Delaware Bay here. I believe it's Delaware Bay. Let's double check that. Yep, Delaware Bay. You guys can see that on the Jeep on the four-flight upper left-hand corner. Well, it's good. It's got a 5-year warranty, Bug Eater. That's good. But by the same token, we want to make sure, we want to know that it's going to be functional and feel good. And, if it's not an improvement or upgrade from what I have here with this CH product, if it's not like and it's got to be an improvement on, well, I guess what that one adds, it's got a key, it's got some switches, more switches and stuff for like, operating a few things in the cockpit, which is good. But I want to know the feel is better. I want to know the feedback is better before, I spend the money. Oh, CH Products is down the street from you in Vista, unless they move. It's been about 20 years since I've. Yeah, I mean, this yoke has been around a long time. They haven't really changed it. They make it simple. The rudder pedals are great. I have the rudder pedals. They're great. They make good product. And good enough where people are buying it and they haven't really had to change it, I mean, there's an upgraded unit from this, but this had more buttons on it, and I need a lot of buttons for streaming and stuff like that, so this one turned out to be perfect for me. Check one thing, guys. I gotta check my phone here. Anywho, all right, what are we doing here? We're crossing the bay. We're over the water. I guess in real life, you'd probably want to turn your fuel pumps on when you're over water, right? Just in case. Make sure you're keeping the fuel flowing, just in case you have a problem. We're at 166. What the hell happened there? All right, 15. All right, let's see. So we're Cape May traffic, Mooney 328 Mike Romeo. We are 20 miles west of the airport. I always forget to figure out which friggin' runway. What is it?
Destination AWAS is 118.275.
Cape May traffic, Mooney 328 Mike Romeo, 20 miles west of the airport, landing runway 10 straight in approach, full stop, Cape May. All right, we're heading into Cape May. Got 13, 20, about 19 miles. Be there before you know it. So thanks again to all you guys for flying for the group this month. Appreciate it. I know that, listen, everyone's out in the beautiful weather doing stuff. And totally get that, it's fine. VR Aviation's paying its bills, and we're not going to see a lot of growth this summer. We'll just keep adding the cash up and figure out what we're going to do with it once we have a decent amount. Like I said, we got about $600,000 in cash, so that's going to be plenty to keep the group going, and the FBOs seem to be pretty much self-sufficient, which is good. And yeah, so looking forward to it. You went all SciTac because my local electronics had all the equipment. Okay. SciTac Pro yoke, switch panel. Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff. You could put together a nice cockpit. And I'm sure you started, I don't know, do you fly in VR? Dion, do you fly in VR? Because as you go into VR, you need less of the equipment because you're basically doing everything with a touch controller. Yeah, you're saying it's kind of made cheaply, right? Yeah, I mean, listen, this isn't like, this is like kind of cheap too, Waiting for the money. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's when you fly in VR, you don't need all that stuff. You don't need all those panels because you're basically using, you can see here, this touch controller, right? You're using this thing to manipulate everything. So you don't need those. You can manipulate everything. The throttles, the yokes, switches, the GPS, the lights, this thing, whatever the hell that does. I don't know what that does. These don't do anything. But yeah, you have, you've got, everything's done with this. So you don't need all those panels, which is nice, and you save a lot of money. And it doesn't break the, you don't want to break the immersion. You want the headset on, stay in the cockpit without having to flip it up. The only reason why I have to flip it up, really, is because I'm streaming. What I could do is here, if I go to here and I go to move, what I could do is I could bring an air server, best quality. And there's my ForeFlight, and I could put ForeFlight right there like that. So, when I'm flying, when I'm not streaming, I never leave the cockpit. And what I'll do is I'll have this here. I'll put a video if I want to watch a video or want to, something like that. I'll put the video over there, right side, and everything's good to go. Usually I put ForeFlight like right there where the chat is because that makes it easier. To be honest, you'd rather have a real one. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. All right, we're gonna have to get down here, so let's forgot about that. Let's get down to 1,200 feet, vertical speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go down a little quick here because we got to get down here. How far are we? 7, 8. Cape May traffic, Mooney 328 Mike Romeo, 8 miles west of the airport. We're landing runway 10 for full stop landing, Cape May. Yeah, of course, I'd rather buy a real plane, but, I don't have the money for a Cessna 172, right? 40 grand, whatever, 30, 40 grand. I mean, when I get my pilot, I'm not saying if I ever, because I'm going to. When I get my pilot's license, I'll probably join like a group that has planes that you can use when you rent. You rent them when you use them, but they're owned by the group. That's probably what we'll do, and they'll probably, you know, hopefully it'll be like hoping it'll be like a SR20 and a 172. So they want to start on the 172 and then graduate to the SR20. All right, I'm going to take over here. Start to slow this baby down because we're getting up to 185 knots, which is a little fast. Yeah, right. Buy 2 of them. All right, so let me get that nose up a little bit. We're slowing this plane down. Coming in pretty hot here. Probably want to be about 130 before I pop the flaps on. But let me get the gear down. That'll slow her down. All right, there we go. The first notch of flaps. Settle her out at about 100. Runway 10 in sight. Cape May traffic, Mooney 328 Mike Romeo on short final runway 0 full stop landing. Cape May runway 10 full stop landing. Cape May.
500.
All right, full flaps. Nose up. Keeping it around 84. It's good. Get over those trees. I think in real life the trees would be cut back much more. You really don't want to have that steep an angle. We got 93 there. We're going to have to cut back here. Keep that nose up. All right, we're good there. Start to flare it. Airspeed coming down, 176. And we're coming right in there, 75, 74. And about 20 feet off, we'll hit that throttle back. Nice in. Okay, beautiful. A little bit of a oh, shit. Shit, let's get control of this plane. Brakes on. All right, we got to get over there, so. Clean up those flaps. All right, we have a exit coming up here. All right, let's see. Let's get over to the VRA hangar way over there. Cape May traffic, Mooney 328 Mike Romeo, clear the active, taxiing to VRA Aviation. Last call, Cape May. Thanks for the stream. Hey, Dion, thanks for watching, man. I appreciate that. I'm not sure if you followed, but hit that follow button and hit the notification, and then when next time I'm streaming, you'll be right there. All right, here we go. You'll be right there. You'll get a notification via email. But yeah, hit that follow button if you haven't already, okay? Yeah, that was a pretty good landing. I'm kind of happy with that landing. Park her right here. We don't have a marshal. Set parking brake?
Parking brakes set.
Beautiful. All right, we don't need this anymore.
Flight 209er clear.
Hey, thanks for that follow. That's got to be Dion. Yep, thanks for the flight.
Roger.
Follow.
What's our vector, Victor?
All right, we're going to pull the mixture back. Let me get my chat window out of the way here. We're going to go alternator off, master off. And this plane is stopped. Oh, key off. Oh, crap. Key to off. And let's open that door. And let's get the hell out. Close that door. I don't know why that's not working. Usually I can close that door. Oh, well. Not bad. Nice plane. Love this plane. All right, that was a good flight. Let's do it end here. And we'll show you how much money we made. Let's see. End flight. Beautiful. Alrighty. Always an excellent stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, let me just go over the money here. That's a nice shot right there, that plane. Look at that. That looks cool. All right. Here we go. All right, so let's see how we did here. Log, Aviation. So on the outbound trip, we made $500 for the group. Remember, we upped our pay to 50%, so pilots get 50% of whatever you make. So the income is $25.50, so pilot gets paid $12.75 right off the top. It's nice. And the second flight, we probably did better because we picked up that bonus feedback, so we did $11.44. So not bad. We made money for the group, which is good, not bad. Also had a few other people flying today. Let's see. 73DX. Good to see him in the plane again. And D. Rogie. Good to see him flying around again in the Cessna 1208. So, in any event, that's gonna do it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for the congratulations on the new career. Appreciate that. Anyway, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us on Twitch too. It's Bambino VR on Twitch if you want to check out and watch things live. Make sure you join that. Link will be in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day. Take care.